Ontario wildfires burn on, and new ones spring up. That's the headline that's echoing through Toronto, Thunder Bay, and stations across North America. Over 191 active fires were burning across Ontario this Friday, with 81 still out of control. The nervous quiet of Canadian provinces is punctuated by the crackle of flames and the rush of emergency sirens that have pushed roughly 15 communities, some of them First Nations reserves, into evacuation. Cat Lake, Ibamatong, and McDowell Lake saw airlift evacuations as crews tried to quell the smoke that has been filling the air above major cities back August United States, New York, Detroit, and Chicago alike. Air quality has been a top story. In Toronto, for a couple of days the sky was the color of burnt toast, but come Friday the clouds cleared, and by noon the air quality index was back in the good range, a small relief for the city's residents. The smog has been intense enough that officials in Michigan and Ohio have taken notice and commented, calling on Ontario's Premier Doug Ford to explain how they are managing the disaster. Ford responded not with apology but with a challenge: if they're complaining, why not send help? He pointed to the province's past assistance to the United States, notably the evacuation and support during California wildfires, hoping listeners will remember how Canada has cooperated in similar crises. The emphasis is that wildfire control is a provincial responsibility in Canada, and Ontario has reached out for federal mayoral assistance. Minister Jill Dunlop posted on social media that we have issued a formal request to the Government of Canada for an expedited deployment of federal resources to support evacuations. She added that the Army may be called in to support efforts. The numbers on the national level are sobering: more than 850 fires are still active across Canada, 113 of them out of control, and this is only the tip. Thunder Bay is the main hub of activity, a city on Lake Superior that's about an hour's drive away from Minnesota. The concentration of fires there is due to dry conditions and the hydro phenomenon that turns once peaceful forests into tinder. The fires keep burning through the day, the crews fighting in both daylight and night as soldiers and helicopter and ground crews work tirelessly. As communities evacuate, the image of people carrying everything from mattresses to phones into a line of gray biplanes is a chilling memory. Morgans, the cold winter months are over. The province's plan to request the Army is not a dramatic shift. The Army's resources are largely used as backup, but when the numbers exceed the capacity of local brigades, the Army will join the fight. The call for federal help is a reminder that the situation is escalating beyond what regional forces can handle. The resulting smoke has blown far beyond Ontario's borders, contributing to hazardous air quality nationwide. As the story develops, we're seeing details from every side: how first responders keep giving their lives, how the mayor of Thunder Bay serves his people under duress, and how the provincial government is dealing with pressure and criticism. Most importantly, we note that but a handful of communities, over 15, and many more homeless people, many of whom are Indigenous, are forced to leave their homes and fauna. These communities are remote and fly-in, meaning the evacuation is not a simple move but an airlift operation. That complexity is why the fire is not just a natural disaster, it is a humanitarian crisis on a regional scale. The short-term goal is to reignite control over the fires, while the long term will put pressure on climatic changes and the global warming that has increased wildfires in Canada and the US. The bottom line is that Ontario's forests are burning again, and the province is in process of mobilizing all resources, provincial crews, federal troops, and potentially American help, to bring the blaze to a close. The air in Toronto will likely remain clearer for a few days to weeks, but in the meantime, the dark silhouettes of burning trees make the sky look uncommon. That's the story of Ontario's fire crisis: the numbers, the policy, the evictions, and the relentless push toward spark prevention. That's nearly 5 minutes of information. Until next time, I'm your host, keeping you in the loop, and reminding that weather changes are sometimes just the start of a longer story. Thanks for listening.